Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber, and thanks for joining us. A lot of developments, a lot of things to talk about. Let's get started. All right, we have to figure this out. Joining me right now is former prosecutor Melba Pearson. Melba, great to have you here. I'm going to ask you the million-dollar question. What on earth happened? Why, on the eve of this trial starting, after a first trial, got a hung jury, undecided, deadlock counts, why did he plead guilty here?
So, good morning, Jesse. Always great to be on with you. The major issue here is that when you have a retrial, the case is usually stronger for the state. It does not get better for the defense because the state was able to see what went right, what went wrong, where they can tweak to make their case stronger, what additional evidence they could bring in that would convince another jury of the defendant's guilt. So, number one, it's better for the defendant to take a plea in this situation because he saw how close he came to a guilty verdict the last time. And also, you have to think about the victims. The victims were people who were experiencing homelessness, and being a victim, number one, is traumatizing enough, but having to get up in front of 6 to 12 strangers to tell your story, tell what happened, relive that trauma, that's a lot for them to go through. So the state was also, the state also had a reason to want to resolve this case as well. If they can avoid putting the victims through the trauma again, that is also well advised. So it actually works out well for both parties in this situation.
Okay, we have a lot to talk about here. I want to play more of him pleading guilty from yesterday. I want to study his demeanor, or how he made this decision, and we're going to break down what this means, and again, how he came to this decision. He didn't decide it a month before trial. He decided it after a jury was seated. So we're going to talk about what that might mean. Let's play a little bit more of him from yesterday. Okay, Melba, first, that interaction where he seems to not be wanting to take this deal. He seems reluctant to take this deal. And based upon what reports we heard is that he was looking back into the courtroom for his father, almost getting the recognition about doing this. You see him giving a look to his attorneys, kind of a very defeated situation. What do you make of that?
Well, it looks like he's scared, right? Because the reality is he's in a situation where he has to be accountable for his actions, right? And he's admitting guilt. He's admitting that he sexually assaulted these victims, and he's now going to be sentenced to prison. I mean, that's a long fall from grace for someone who played in the NFL and is used to, adoring crowds and, pretty much having the world on a silver platter for him while he was a professional football player. So he's thinking about, oh my gosh, like, this is serious. Like, I'm about to literally lose my life for more than a decade, and what that ramification means for his life,
Well,
So
it seems like he wanted initially to fight this and then realized it was a losing battle. And now he, as we all heard, he gave up his rights to appeal. He gave up his rights not only appeal, obviously, what he just pled guilty to, but the convictions as well. That means he is now at the mercy of the court to determine an appropriate punishment.
Exactly, exactly. And again, there's so many thoughts going through his mind right now, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm actually going to go to prison. Oh my gosh, like, this is it. This is final. And he knows in his heart that this is the right thing to do, but that doesn't make it any easier. That's why he's looking to his dad for support. He's looking to his attorney for more validation. And he's looking, and also, I mean, I'm a little concerned too, because he did look confused at certain points, especially when the judge asked about whether or not he was promised anything else.
Right,
so
and he did say in court, I'm not sure, or I'm paraphrasing here, I'm not really sure what I'm thinking right now, but he mentioned a sense of confusion, or I'm not thinking clearly right now. Does that give you an alarm? Does that raise an issue for you?
Yeah, because the situation is when you have a plea, you have to make sure that the defendant is giving a knowing and understanding, and is understanding this waiver of his rights. He's waiving his rights to appeal. He's, waiving his right to a trial. That's why the judge reminded him, hey, the jury's outside. We can do this, right? So it's up to you. You say the word. If you don't want to take this plea, don't. Let's go to trial. But again, he's thinking about the weight of the evidence against him, and then he's also weighing that if I lose, I could end up in prison for life. So this is the lesser of two evils. But again, I'm wondering about the promises. I mean, I wonder if it was a situation where it was, oh, you're probably going to get 12 years, but then with gain time, you'll probably be out in 10. So there's all these other realities that may have gotten explained to him. But then again, the only people who can assure his sentence is the judge and the Department of Corrections. So nobody else should be promising him anything else that's going to happen or any other benefit that he's going to get.
Okay, so 12 to 18 years. Is there a possibility? I mean, what do you think he would get sentenced to? Because these are serious, serious crimes over a span of time. Also, will it be taken into account the fact that he pled guilty and didn't, in a way, force or compel these Jane Does to come back onto the stand and tell their story? Is there a possibility he could get something less than that range of 12 to 18 years, or is it has to be in 12 to 18, and would the judge give him the maximum?
So it's within the judge's discretion to be able to go below the 12 or to go above the 18. If the judge finds either mitigating factors, he can go below, or if he finds aggravating factors, like the fact that, that he was targeting women that were transient, or that it was so many women, or some of the other evidence that came out in the course of the first trial, as well as what was going to come out in the second trial. So the judge has some wiggle room there. But also the judge has to take into consideration the defendant's criminal history. If he's had no prior contact with the criminal justice system beforehand, it's usually rare that right out the gate you're going to get the maximum, again, unless there's aggravating circumstances. So I could see the judge landing somewhere between 12 and 15. I think that would be the most reasonable in this situation, because of the fact that he's taking a plea, because of the fact that he's accepting responsibility, and not forcing the victims to have to come forward and relive their trauma.
Well, he said he hoped to get 12. Winslow said he hoped to get 12 so he could be with his kids again. We're going to play more of what happened in court yesterday and break it down. Stay tuned. We'll be right back right after this.
That you would waive your